talked a lot about my Cubs, talked a lot about your Giants. I think we need to talk about your White Sox finally.
Yeah, I mean, I think they went ahead and they went with the Pedro Grifol, let's flush it, and they flushed it.
Oh, they flushed it. That's a great way to put it.
They basically flushed outside of Liam. They flushed the stank of 2023 for the most part.
Yeah.
TA, who brought a bunch of weirdness to the team. There's been talk that maybe he wasn't the greatest guy in the clubhouse. They made a move which I don't think would have been done if Hahn and Kenny were there. I think they would have rolled the dice because based on history,
that's a great point. Yeah,
they would have rolled the dice and said, at the worst case scenario, if we're not competitive at the All-Star break, if he's having a Timmy season that the White Sox had grown accustomed to, we got a great trade asset.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, we got, because we owe him $1 million for the buyout, we got $13 million back on that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they might hold on to him just because he's $14 million. You just hope there's a bounce back year. Even if Colson Montgomery was ready to be called up, which he might be, I think we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
I think Tim would have agreed to move to second base.
Maybe,
so those would have been the ways he could have stayed. So I was a little surprised they let him go, but 14 million it's still 14 million, but it's not outrageous money.
Right.
So I guess I was surprised. I haven't seen a ton of, and you're more clued into Sox Twitter, but I mean, is there a lot of kicking him in the ass as he leaves, or
no, not really?
I think in general, from what I've seen, it's Tim was a hero on the South Side for a long time, and it just kind of petered out in a terrible final season.
Well, one thing you should learn about White Sox Twitter, though, whatever the White Sox do right now, it's not good.
Yeah,
they could sign Shohei Ohtani this offseason, and there would be a problem with it. Well, we don't know if he's ever going to throw another pitch again.
There would be a problem.
I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself in this outline.
We'll get to Ohtani for sure.
One move I was somewhat surprised at was Mike Clevinger, and the only reason I was surprised by that, not so much with the negative publicity brought on the team, but he was really our best starting pitcher this past year, and the money they were going to pay him next season for a guy with an ERA under 4 seemed like a no-brainer to me.
Well, it is a no-brainer. He's the one that opted out. It was
he opted. Oh, I'm sorry.
It was a mutual option. So
he opted out on his end. Okay.
Yeah. The Sox wanted him for sure. He's the one that opted out. So
I didn't realize that part. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't. I just read that in one place, but when he signed, I didn't hear about the mutual.
I thought it was a club option. That's what I always read. So.
Yeah, no, it was a mutual option. So he's the one that rejected the White Sox. So, and maybe, I mean, it's if he's the one that opted out, maybe they wanted to hold on to him, but maybe he did them a favor in the long run. Because
I mean, he's another guy like Stroman though that thinks he's going to get better than I think he was going to be 15 million this year. I mean,
he was easily your best pitcher. So, he was great down the stretch. So he's, if a team is willing to put up with the baggage he comes with, they're going to have a decent pitcher on their hands. But
so
if you want to deal with all that bullshit, and for the most part, we gave him tons of shit in the off season as the investigation for his domestic violence and all the other shit was going on. He did one thing with the White Sox that was annoying, but not that he should go to jail for. But he played his first time having like walk up music or warm up music. He played Gold Digger.
Oh yeah.
And that was like the only controversial thing. It was like his kind of passive aggressive way to get back at his ex-wife or girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a gross thing to do, but that was the only real controversy throughout the season that I remember with Clevinger. So I don't know if maybe we blew things out of proportion, or if he's matured and there's not nothing going on anymore. I don't know, but it's just kind of more part of the hangover, part of the stink, like you put it, of last season. That's probably
Yeah.
better to be gone. But
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Getz is looking at this as, there's certain guys I can't move, like Mancata, because he's getting paid $21 million. Who arguably, when he's on the field, is a really great player, but he can't stay on the field. But anyway, continuing on with, obviously Yasmani Grandal was not
surprising.
dude, not surprising. He can barely walk. Elvis has left the building, and I think that relationship has been terminated.
36, 37 now. Yeah,
I don't think we have to worry about that.
you
Well,
caught lightning in a bottle for 2 months, 2
yeah,
seasons ago. So
yeah,
he
exactly.
maximized his value with you guys, but yeah,
Which we thought.
Time to end. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't hard to see.
But last but not least, Liam Hendriks.
That sucks.
It's a sticky situation.
It's understandable, but
it's totally understandable for someone who wouldn't be able to play again till maybe towards the end of the season. Maybe a better case scenario after the midway point, after they all, or a little bit past the midway point.
But are you going to be in a position to need a closer at that point? Need a lights out closer?
Well,
maybe,
but if we were, we would have needed a closer to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's $15 million, and
which he gets paid no matter what.
So I thought he was only getting like 5.5 this year.
No, he gets the full 15, but they spread it out over 10 years.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's getting like
1.5 a year for 10 years. So it's kind of like a mini Bobby Bonilla day. Every season. We'll have to figure out what day that is. But
if we do that, we have to do that for pretty much every team in baseball, because every team in baseball has its contract. In fact, we should come up with Jason Hayward Cubs Day, because he's getting.
It's over. They're finally done paying him.
Are they done paying him?
Final season? Yes.
Sure? Oh, okay.
Money, yes, I'm absolutely sure.
Yeah. All right.
Well, finally, they're out from underneath the contract of Jason Hayward.
But yeah, that's the only one that kind of makes me like, oh wow, that sucks. But
it's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
move for the franchise, but it just hurts. It also sucks. It's just horrible timing. It came one day after he won AL Comeback Player of the Year.
Yep.
That was the headline the day before. The next day, Sox dump him. It's like, oh my God, just couldn't be worse timing. But well, he doesn't have sour grapes. He's getting paid one way or the other. He wasn't going to be pitching next year, so there's no reason to be sour. It's just not that they made the wrong choice, but it's just weird, not bad optics. I don't know how to put it, but just awkward in a sad way for such a cool dude. Went through so fucking much, and it just ends in just such a weird way.
What do all these moves really do for the White Sox? Well, not much, because Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't spend money, and he's already admitted he wouldn't get Ohtani. But
he laughed at the idea.
Could they afford Ohtani? They could afford to
absolutely
pay everyone in the free agent market. Because do you know what their estimated and we all know it's not a. We know we don't have a salary cap, but
the luxury tax threshold.
Yeah, let's work against the luxury tax threshold.
Okay, I just did this tonight for
room they have.
I did this tonight for the Cubs, and it's hard to figure out, especially at this point in the season, because things aren't finalized. But like the Cubs have almost $50 million, so I'm wondering, you got to be pushing $100 million at least.
162
below the $237,000 luxury tax threshold.
Yes.
That is not a cap. You could choose to go over that even.
Yes, we have estimate, because there's a site called Sport Track that I use that has all that stuff, and their estimated competitive balance tax base for 2024 is $162,883,324.
That's how much they have below the cap.
That's how much space they have with how there's the
So their payroll is
Everything's
only like
structured.
80,000 or 80 million right now.
74.
My God, that includes 24 million for Moncada alone.
24 for Mancada, 17 for Benintendi, 13 for Eloy, 12 and a half for the best player, the best center fielder in baseball, who is Robert Jr., at least American League, and 5.5 for everyone's favorite pitcher, Aaron Bummer.
Well, it's a good thing because you've got basically an entire rotation to rebuild. I think you have one,
Yeah.
maybe 1.5 pitchers to build around right now. So
if I'm going to be a Cub fan, once we get to this free agent conversation, everyone's coming to the White Sox.
Oh boy.
All right. Anyway, that's all I got.
We're out with the old for the White Sox.
Flush it. And we should make one more point about out with the old and with the new. There are several new members of the coaching staff, which I was perplexed by, which I think we do have to start calling them, per your suggestion, the Chicago White Sox, because when you look at the picture of the announced coaching staff, it's people, managers and coaches with White Sox hats on, and everyone else is either everyone's from the Angels, and then they got Grady Sizemore from
That's interesting.
The Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
All A's on their hats.
White Sox. I like that.
The White Sox, the Chicago White Sox. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, there needed to be a massive turnover in your coaching department, so I think that was probably smart. I don't know how much effect that really has, but was it Daryl Boston that everyone hated there that's gone now? So
yeah, he's gone. No one really understood if he did anything.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of
I
questions.
guess there's reason to say no, he did not.
Yeah.
Word Hole Media.